¿Qué hay, amigos? Continuamos aquí en Italia con el equipo de Fox y tenemos aquí con nosotros a Sean Estes, que es el brand manager para Fox, lleva muchos años en la compañía y bueno, nos va a platicar algo acerca de tu trabajo, así que comenzamos con esta plática interesante. So Sean, you're product manager for Fox or brand manager for the brand.
Yeah.
Can you let us know a little bit about your job? What do you do? What do you focus in? And at the same time, what new products are coming along? But to start, what do you do?
Yeah. Basically, I think the easiest way to describe it is I sort of translate between engineering and marketing.
Yeah.
So, it's like very much like how we were jumping between Spanish and English right now.
Yes.
It's the same thing. So I sit in our Scotts Valley office in Santa Cruz.
Yes.
And the reason I'm there, and I'm the only person in that office from the bicycle marketing team, is because engineering is mostly there. And
Yes.
race department, Jordy's team is there also. So for me to be there, to be connected to product development is very important. So I stay there, I stay with the product team, and then I sort of, I'm like a spy, right?
Yes.
And then I take what I learned and I report it back to the rest of the marketing team.
Yeah.
So I take this information, I translate it, I localize it, and sort of condense it, and then figure out how to bring it back to marketing and creative to where we can turn that into messaging that we can speak to different audiences, right? So whether it's distributors, whether it's journalists, whether it's directly to consumers or OEM partners, we sort of have little bit nuanced differences of how we speak to those audiences.
Yeah.
And I sort of create the playbook that we use to then hand off to the rest of the team to develop those different sort of channel strategies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know Fox, of course, is a heavy engineering company.
Very much.
So sometimes all the tech stuff can get very techy, right?
Yes.
It will be very technical language, a lot of engineering language and development. So translating that to the rider field, to what the rider's gonna feel on the trail, on their product is very important.
Right.
So on the new products that we're just looking at, the new 36, the new 38, a couple of additional products, but mainly on the 38, translating it from the techie stuff to what the rider's gonna feel.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the new product? Also, seeing some technical details about it.
No, that's exactly it, right? It's I came to Fox, I think it's been almost 7 years, and I really loved how it's such an engineering-driven company and product-driven company, and I think Bob Fox started that mentality. Like, he was a motocross racer, right? And he wanted to make better suspension because he thought that he could go faster with that, right? And so I really appreciated that was like the North Star for the company, was like always pushing potential further, right?
Correct.
And Bob's idea of like, we're never done. So no matter how good you are now, you need to be better. And not in a way though that's like, not in a way, it's all in a positive light, right? It's just an internal desire to always do better. Not like, it's not driven by fear or inadequacy. It's just driven by like fire and passion, right? But I also saw that the marketing opportunity was huge because we had been missing that translating link, right? And I had a very good job that I liked a lot, but I saw this opportunity with Fox for the brand manager role, and just was like, this would be a really fun challenge at a really, really great company.
Yes.
And it's been exactly that. It's been fantastic. But yeah, we have a lot of tech in the product, and I've really enjoyed doing those translations essentially, and really putting that into rider feel. I think that's the piece that was missing before.
Yeah.
But as it pertains to say like the new 38 specifically, it's a very similar story like we started telling. I think I look at things in sort of like seasons or generations.
Yes.
And if you think of like the last season for Fox was Grip 2, Grip, right? When we went from Fit 4 to Grip.
Correct.
And that Grip 1.0 sort of to Grip 2 generation was like one season, but the new season sort of, the beginning of the turn of the season was when we started doing pressure balancing on Grip 2.
Yes.
But when we really did Grip X2 and we designed the damper from the ground up with the pressure balancing kind of damper forward philosophy, was when we really started a whole new chapter. And I think like all of the messages we're telling here today at Recon are versions of the same stories within that season still. So like, it started with like this idea of more support,
Yes.
but without harshness. Because with even Grip 2 was the best damper I think on the market at the time.
Yes, totally.
But it still had some places we knew it could be better, right? And so when we went to Grip X2, we started this whole, this sort of like, is a little bit of a shift in vision of philosophy towards like minimizing I call it the damper forward approach, because like we talk about say a fork chassis as a holistic, assembly, and you've got the air spring, you've got the chassis itself, and then you've got the damper, and all those things are capable of creating some form of damping, whether you want it or not, right? And actually the tire can do some damping as well, right? Like every component does a bit of damping in its own way. So our goal, and it kind of ties in with what Ryan was speaking about with Raceface, our sister company as well, we're trying to build a kind of entire system on the front end, right? Where you've got like all of the damping done in the right ways throughout the components. So like the Era wheel, right, has like the right amount of flex that we figured out, and the front and the rear flex a little bit differently, right? The Era bar, the turbine bar, the Atlas bar, they flex in certain ways that are appropriate as well. But as it, going back to just suspension, like it's all about this idea of removing as much friction as possible from the chassis, and optimizing stiffness for the right handling characteristics, because too stiff is not good, but also not stiff enough is not good. There's a sweet spot, right? And so all of these things work together around this idea of having the damper controlling as much as possible, because it's the thing that's designed to do that, and is capable of doing it with the most consistency, predictability, and tunability.
Of course.
It's a mouthful of words.
Yes, no, totally.
Yeah.
So from what we've seen and what I'm understanding, the 38 had been the leading product in the market for quite some years, the first 38 millimeter fork in recent years. People love it. So seeing a new 38 fork is like, why are we changing it if our current 38 is very good? You're mentioning this damper forward vision in the product. So going or being driven by this damper forward technology or train of thought required a complete redesign of the fork, right? A new chassis, a new air spring, which we'll be talking about in a few moments as well. We have the new Glide Core 3 in the fork. I mean, we tested it on the trails yesterday. The fork feels amazing. It's not just like, oh yeah, this is a 38 with a slight improvement with a facelift. No, it's a completely different product. Elevating the level of compliance, comfort, but maintaining the support that we love and know from Fox, right? I think that's important. It's also more inclusive of our lighter riders. Even we see a lot of kids riding today, more every day.
So good.
And sometimes, the forks, it can be harder to tune the forks for them.
That's correct.
But I think with this product, it'll be an excellent product for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially with Grip 2, we had some times where we would even put certain riders on regular grip damper instead of Grip 2, because for a lighter rider, the damping was a little bit softer, a little bit lighter, and it would help. But I think with the new dampers, you don't need to do that, right? It's exactly like a lot of that was really the air spring, because we were sort of the old way in bike suspension was kind of using the air spring to be a bit of a damper also, and getting support there. And now we've learned how to get the support out of the damper, which means we can take it out of the air spring. So it was a whole new approach, and you can't just change one thing. You have to change everything to match, and that's kind of what you were saying about the chassis, right? And I just think it's a really cool story. So by changing to this damping philosophy, you have to rework the entire chassis to support that vision. And so it was like the kind of high level goal was to the weight on the 38 was fine. The market was happy with this. The stiffness the market was mostly happy with, but we also were maybe not totally happy. We thought it could be better, and we took a lot of what we learned from Podium, because we spent probably 2 years working very in depth on Podium, and the two things we really worked on was friction and stiffness. So we wanted to really understand friction in bicycle forks, and we wanted to understand stiffness. And I think prior to us doing this especially the stiffness study, it was really not clear what was the right amount of the right type and the right amount of stiffness.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody kind of thought that just more stiffness is better. But when we got into 38 in 2020 and other guys did 38 millimeter fork around that same time, I think we did find out pretty quickly that it could be too stiff.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much ours, but maybe some other ones were like too stiff for some riders. It also is a bit of a matter of preference. But with the new chassis, we had the goal of like, let's keep the total weight about the same, but let's remove weight from some parts where we can do so because we have more advanced engineering now than we used to have, right?
Yes.
And then that allows us to put some weight back in other places where we can use it to improve performance.
Of course.
So you mentioned the Glide Core air spring. We went to that system, and that does add some weight compared to the previous air spring, but because we removed weight from the lower leg, you're taking some here and you're putting it in.
And the performance gain is
tremendous,
higher, right?
Tremendous, yeah. And so like previously, maybe you make the fork too stiff because you wanted to reduce friction. Because the stiffer the fork is, the less friction there is between the upper leg and the lower leg, right? As it's moving. So the initial thought you would have is make it stiffer so that it's smoother. But then it's like, okay, so it's smooth now this way, but torsionally and riding down the trail, it's very rigid, and that's going to your hands, and it's like pulling you offline.
Right.
And so you're getting a positive in one area, but you're getting a negative in another area. So we discovered actually with Glide Core, because it has the compliance built into it, we can now make the chassis less stiff to get the tracking feeling of a podium, because we learned with podium that the way that the wheel tracks, just the right amount, is perfect, right? And so we tried to actually copy that a little bit. So we removed torsional stiffness by 6% on the new 38 versus the old one. But we also learned with podium that fore aft stiffness is actually the most important stiffness number on a bicycle fork. And with that one, almost the more you can do, the better. So podium is actually very comparable to 40 in terms of fore aft stiffness, which is incredible for a single crown, because the dual crown makes it very stiff, right? This way, but the single crown, it's very hard to isolate that. So with 38, we said, okay, how can we build in some more of that fore aft stiffness? So increase the bushing overlap, increase the length of the upper tubes, which also not only makes it smoother because the bushing overlap, right, is better, but it also increased the fore aft stiffness by 10%. So again, stiff this way is precision in handling. A little bit of the right amount of compliance torsional helps you hold a line really well. So we kind of optimize the stiffness, optimize the chassis around this whole philosophy. So really every little thing on the fork is all designed around that, like that damper forward approach, right? So it's pretty cool.
No, and now that you're mentioning the podium or the podium fork, I've spoken during the last months. I mean, we've obviously tested the fork, and it's amazing. But even talking with OEMs, even talking with bike reporters that test a lot of forks every month, and they're speccing the bikes, the general comment that we have from them is that the podium fork is the best fork they've ever ridden. And they ride all different types of forks from different brands, and the podium fork is like the standard of what suspension should feel like. So on this new 38, well, what you learned from the podium fork, you've translated it and you've moved it as much as possible into the new 38. So we're very close to that standard of what the podium is, where again, talking with the leading guys in the industry who are the best product testers out there, that's the fork they prefer. So I think overall the new 38 is amazing. The feeling on the trail is great. We fell in love with it. And we think our community and the riders in Mexico and all over the world are going to really enjoy it. So thank you very much for talking about this, because you would sometimes just see the new 38 and say, oh, well, it's a new model, it's a new design, it looks nicer, but there's so much behind the product. So many engineering hours, testing, with all types of riders, with racers, that we can see what's behind the product and really get a clear understanding of it and what our riders are going to enjoy.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you. It's always good chatting with you.
We'll be around.
Right on.
All right. Thank you.